Today, Claire, Logan, thanks for joining me. Really glad to have you guys on. I just want to hear more about your firm and share that with other aspiring and current tax firm owners. I know that there's a ton of people asking about this. There's a ton of people who are new or want to launch their own and really just want to see how other people are doing it. So I really appreciate you guys being willing to share. I know you do that a lot online too, but being able to do it here in the video as well. So thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Very excited.
So let's see, Logan Holman and Claire Gallant. I knew I was going to try to mess up that last
You got it.
I know I did. And co-founders of Vivify. So tell us a little bit about just short introduction of yourselves, but then also how did you get into this? Like what led you to starting your own firm?
Love it. I'll go first. So I'm Logan. Claire and I are both from and currently living in Cincinnati. Well, I guess I'm from Farmtown, Ohio, but now I live in Cincinnati. I have always been in accounting tax world, undergrad from Xavier in tax, and I was at PwC for a little bit, and then a firm in Cincinnati that was more local, regional, probably like 50 CPAs. And I was a tax manager there for high net worth, generational tax planning and some privately held companies, trust estates that go along with that. And then a couple years ago, I just said, okay, wait, is this what I want to do forever? Do I want to be a partner here? Like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So I had my last tax season there in 2022. And then I actually took some months away. I did some side consulting, but I was really like, do I want to like change and apply sales somewhere? Mm-hmm. Like, what do I want to do?
Nonprofit
with my life? Nonprofit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I was really just thinking I'm done with the grind of being in public accounting. And then I had lunch with Claire.
My name is Claire Gallant. I am a CPA CFP, and I really grew up in the wealth advisory space. Previously, I had managed a firm, a wealth advisory firm that was geared toward the everyday person. So think people who had zero assets all the way on up to $3 million in assets. And I loved it. I loved what I was doing. I felt the load of being a primary caregiver for my two little girls combined with the work, and decided to take a step back, but also had this idea in my mind of what building a tax firm might look like, especially considering that as a wealth advisor, I could not find a CPA to refer clients to. I could not find a CPA who would respond to my emails. I could not find a CPA who even served more of that everyday person space.
Yeah. Claire and I have been friends since 2017.
Okay.
And at that time she would be like, hey, I have this client. Can they come to your firm? And I'm like, I mean, are they going to pay $3,000 for that easy 1040? So unfortunately, like we already kind of had that, man, I wish I could help your clients because they are my peers. They are my friends. And it just wasn't jiving. Mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, well, we're shit out of luck. And Claire's like, no, let's just make a new solution. Mm-hmm. She's the entrepreneur, definitely, out of us.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. I that seems pretty common too. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, right? And you guys probably get it too, right? From financial advisors reaching out and being like, I just want to meet you to see if I can potentially refer people to you because I don't know where to send my clients. I mean, I get that all the time too.
Yeah. And it's really been, I think, a nice balance between Logan, who grew up in the traditional CPA space, I, who grew up in the wealth advisory space, trying to refer clients into the CPA space. And then the two of us coming together, it's enabled us, for me to come in and challenge the way that CPA firms traditionally operate and say, why in the heck is this happening? And Logan to say, well, of course it needs to happen this way. This is why it does it. Yeah. And then,
or sometimes
like, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And a perfect blend too of like, not necessarily wanting to pave your own path, but then also like seeing that need, right? Like we really want to serve these people and we don't have an option for it. So let's do it. Right. And so
Yes.
what'd that look like? Did you guys jump in? I'm guessing you didn't really start anything on the side based on where you were in your current roles. Did you just jump straight in? And when was that? Like what year was
Mhm.
that you guys launched?
It was in 2023. I was pregnant with my second child, and our goal was to launch our website and open for clients by the time I gave birth in October. And then be open shop in January for us to serve our first clients.
Mm-hmm. And we did it.
And we did it.
So the spring of 2024 was our first tax season.
Yeah.
Our goal was to get 100 households, 100 clients. I still so remember like the first like client we got. It was so exciting. And then you're like, oh my gosh, now we're up to 10. And now
I should show this.
And now we're getting intakes, you know, and I'm not even processing
Oh,
it.
you did it. You framed it. That's awesome.
Yes.
Of course,
You had to.
Of course, we don't take cash or check payments,
Right.
but we had to take
it was symbolic, right? Yeah. Who was the first client? Where'd they come from? Where'd that first one come from? Do you remember?
So that first one who gave us a Google review was referred to us from Megan Hammond from WealthQuest.
Yeah,
Do you remember? And she's still a very sweet, wonderful client.
Yeah. I think the very first client in the door had actually been a former wealth advisory client of mine who saw that I opened the tax firm and already had the trust built with me and signed on immediately.
Yeah, someone within your own network, right?
Yeah.
That's what that's kind of what I expected. I mean, that's where my first clients came from too, right? I mean, I sent out an email to everybody and was like, hey, I'm doing this. If you need anybody, let me know, right?
We sent out postcards.
Nice. With handwritten notes. I will say the first idea for how to build our network was to primarily target wealth advisors, of course, because that was my comfort space. I already knew wealth advisors, having operated there. So did you. So we started with the people that we knew, and then Logan in meetings would say, hey, do you have someone I can introduce you to?
Yeah, honestly, and it's kind of, you just have to like have no shame, right? Like sitting down with somebody to have coffee or lunch, their wealth advisor, their friend, and be like, hey, do you have a CPA that you work with that you know is turning away their small 1040s? Do you have another financial advisor that you think would benefit from meeting me? And then it's just like one by one, like a million coffee meetings, getting their contact information. And we definitely are getting the majority of our clients from financial advisors. We have a newsletter that we send out, and it doesn't go to clients. Like we are sending it to financial advisors.
Okay.
That is where, our marketing efforts are going, or other accounting firms, because most people want to fire clients that we are attracting.
Yeah. So I definitely want to ask about that too, because I want to get into that. So you just finished your second, right? Second busy season. Second tax season. It is October 16th right now. So we just wrapped up everything yesterday, right? And so what does your firm focus on? And this is one of those things, I mentioned it earlier when we were chatting, was unless I misunderstand something, I'm pretty sure that you're operating in a space where the loudest voices right now are saying it's miserable to be in and it's not profitable. And I'm kind of in that direction too. And I think they're just doing it to sell stuff. And so I completely disagree with them. And you just kind of touched on it there too, right? So you're going for clients that a lot of other people are like, we don't want them. And so what's the type of work? What's the type of client that you guys are focused on?
So we really brand it. We say the everyday taxpayer, but really, I mean, the W-2 employee, maybe the retiree, people who get very standard tax forms. And it's almost easier to say who we don't serve. So we don't accept people who get K-1s. We don't accept people who have rental properties. We don't accept crypto investors. We don't accept Schedule Cs, which is like the biggest thing that people are, but it's just a small 1099. It's really easy. It's like, there is no like conformity to that. I have no idea what kind of records you're keeping. Like we're trying to keep it as
streamlined
as we can. And while it is hard to say no to some people, there are plenty of clients that fit that niche and want a CPA, a human to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's say they have a 1099. Will you
like investment 1099 or
sorry, so a 1099 NEC, a miscellaneous 1099 NEC. Will you meet with them to see if it's more like a Schedule 1? Just throw it on Schedule 1 if it doesn't need a Schedule C, or is it just none of that?
Well, typically we do look at the prior year return as a screening method. Additionally, we use a technology similar to what you use, Brad, actually. You use Typeform. We use Video Ask, which is a Typeform product, which is kind of like our talking heads going through and saying, hey, do you have these types of income?
I've been through maybe part of it. Yes, I saw it.
Yeah. If you select an income type that we don't serve, then we send you to our network of CPAs so you can find a CPA who can serve you. So we have a lot of screening methods to make sure that as soon as a client gets to us and they're getting our time, that they're the right fit for us.
But I would say random person off the street has a 1099 miscellaneous or NEC. Our default would be, sorry, find someone else. If it's a client we've already been working with and they're like, this is a one-time thing, maybe we'll make exceptions there, but we're pretty diligent in saying no, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I think it's got to be harder though. Let's say a current client starts up a Schedule C business. Then what happens?
Yeah.
We've referred them out. Yeah. And
so no exceptions, right? No nephew with a Schedule C, no exceptions.
No. Yeah.
No.
That's hard to do.
It is hard to do.
It is. Yeah. There have been last year, a client, their parent had died. So they got a 1090 or a K1 from a trust. And we completed it. We did it. That's much easier anyway, since it was investment income. It wasn't like an operating K1. But some people who end up saying, oh, whoops, I do have a K1.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We're really trying to, and also, that helps our other accountant CPAs who are maybe really interested in that work, refer it to them.
Yeah. That was, I think when I first went to your website, it was a few months ago, maybe longer ago than that, but I think that's what caught my attention was that page. I thought I had it up, that said what we do and what we don't do. And who we serve. There it is. And I was like, wait, Schedule C, Schedule E, these are common things. And then even the K1 too. Now, all three of those things drastically vary in, complexity. And so, I'm not doing, 10 state K1s or anything like that. I'm not doing crazy Schedule Cs. It's pretty straightforward service-based stuff. And so, that caught my attention. So I would think that a lot of people, again, this kind of goes back to that, you guys are doing it, but I would think that a lot of people might say okay, how are you getting these clients instead of TurboTax, right? Why would this client come to you instead of TurboTax? And I'll tell you, I got a lot of these clients too, right? I really like these clients. And I know they trust me more than TurboTax, right? They just don't want to use it. And so is that what you guys are seeing? So what's kind of your thought on that? Where, again, like I said, some of the loudest voices are like, oh, we don't even want these people. They're TurboTax. Let TurboTax have them.
Absolutely. And I always answer this question with an anecdote about in the wealth advisory space. When robo-advisory was introduced, they said, oh, financial advisors, go get a new job. No one will want to work with you anymore. They can just go work with this robo for a fraction of the price.
Yeah.
And the answer was, no, people still wanted human financial advisors for the peace of mind. People still need human CPAs for the peace of mind to really walk them through their return and hold their hand as they're going through it.
We, even though these are people that you have a W-2, you have an HSA, they don't know or make sure like, okay, what does that actually mean that I have 2 different local income tax being
Right.
withheld, or I did a backdoor Roth, I got a 1099-R, it says box 2, it's taxable. So it's like these are things that TurboTax is whatever you put in that box, that's going to
Right.
shoot out. And that definitely might not be the intention.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we also are a good spot for people who maybe just want to start learning more about their overall financial
Mm.
picture, or they're like, so we do have people from financial advisors. We also have people who have just met with Claire and I, and they're like, wow, you don't make me feel stupid for asking you a question. I
Right.
would love, I know if you do my
Mhm.
tax return, then maybe we'll have 1 or 2 questions about why aren't you maxing out your 401k?
Mhm.
Just things that,
I don't see any interest income. You should keep your savings account in
Yeah.
a high yield savings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just that first kind of like human first adulting kind of advisor relationship. And then there might be to a point where they're like, okay, yeah, I think that actually an introduction to a financial advisor would be nice. Or
Yeah.
they have a kid. Hey, have you thought about
Mhm.
estate documents? Like, I think we want to be like seen as their friend that they would come to for advice. And I think that that's definitely something that you're not going to get from TurboTax.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, that stuff that the advisors and the strategists and all the other people are like, you can charge for that? And it's like, yeah, most people aren't doing this stuff. Like most people don't
Mhm.
understand this and they don't do it. And like you said, I mean, I just found that time after time, people are like, no one has ever explained it to me the way you just did. And it's
Mhm.
literally just talking about, well, your W-2 income went up and your withholding went down. That's why you owe more. I can't
Yes.
explain why that happened other than I'm pretty sure the
Yes.
IRS screwed up the withholding tables.
Mhm.
But
Yes.
just telling them and they're like, "Oh, wow, that makes me feel so much better," right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I mean, and how many too that have come to me who are like, "It's in TurboTax right now, and I don't understand what it's giving me, so that's why I reached out to you."
Mhm.
And and it's like I even tell them, I'm like, "Well, I mean, if it's in TurboTax correctly, it's not going to be a different result, but
Yes.
you will
Mhm.
understand why because we'll go through it and I'll explain it to you."
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I found that there are a ton of people who want that, right?
Mhm.
Now you can't charge them 2,500 for a tax return, but you don't need to either, right?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it can be
I used to,
profitable less than that.
yeah.
So it doesn't sound
You
like
don't
you
have
guys are
to like,
doing much outside of the compliance. I mean, is it predominantly compliance work?
Mostly. Our
mhm.
goal as we move into the future is to continue building outside of tax season revenue. But at this point, yes, the majority of our income is coming from tax
But
season.
we also, I mean, set that up intentionally.
Intentionally. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to work crazy all the time.
So you're not doing like you're not doing like tiered services or anything. Now I saw on the website you do have some additional, like you've got the tax scorecard or you've got additional consulting that they can do on an hourly
Mhm.
basis. So it's pretty much the compliance and then kind of those other things at this point that they could add
Mhm.
on.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. As we continue into the future, we want to start, I mean, we really wanted to focus on like, we want our tax prep clients to feel well taken care of. We want the process to be super seamless before we would focus on anything
Mhm.
else. I think we're in a really good spot with that. Um, so now we're looking at, okay, what are some other things that could provide revenue year round, not take as much of our time, still
Mm.
benefit the people that we're
Mhm.
wanting to serve. Um, and the most recent project, that like Claire's Little Passion Project, which is great, is a
Our passion project.
yes, like a directory of other accountants. So
Oh yeah,
we
that's
tell a lot of
huge. Yeah.
people no,
Mhm.
but I mean, we still want to be a resource and help them. So we have a directory that any accountant, it could be a CPA, it could be a bookkeeper, it could be an auditor. We don't have a ton of those, that can add themselves to this directory. And
Okay.
when they go through that video ask, like on our website, and let's say they select, oh, I have a K1. Before they would even like get to us, like that's out of our process now. It says, sorry, Vivify isn't a good fit. Here's a directory where you can search
Mm.
and filter for other
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge
accountants.
because you feel kind of that you s- I do anyway. I still feel that responsibility
Mhm.
to at least point them in the right direction if they've reached out for help.
Mhm.
And I think I collected 80 to 100 names of people who wanted to be on a list just like that. And it's still just
Mhm.
sitting there. I haven't done anything with it.
Mhm.
Well, you should
My
send them
goal,
an
yeah,
directory.
I know, I need to. My goal with that was and the reason why I haven't moved forward with it because it's a lot of time was I wanted to at least have a 10-minute conversation with them to make sure they were normal human beings before I put them on the
Mhm.
list. Um,
Mhm.
and so I haven't moved into that yet. But yeah, I think that's huge to be able to do that because just like financial advisors having trouble, I mean, we have trouble too. Like I don't know anyone else. Like I don't
Mhm.
know that many other firm owners
Mhm.
that I feel comfortable with. Not that I don't feel comfortable with them, but I just haven't had that conversation, so I don't
Mhm.
know like if they know what they're doing
Mhm.
or not, right? So are you guys virtual, in person, both?
Totally virtual.
Mhm.
Right now,
Yeah.
we are at Claire's house. I work from my house a lot. Um, there's every once in a while clients that would push back on that. We might say we're not the best fit.
Yeah. So no
But
exceptions there either. You no
there's
dropped
a
off
few older
dre
there's a few
okay.
older clients that, we're not monsters. Their
Yeah.
old CPA fired them and they've never done virtual. Like, we will help them. Obviously, they have to be in the Cincinnati area.
Okay. I've
Claire's
got one or
going to one
two
of
that
their
have mailed me
conferences
documents and then I scan them in and do it that way. But it's very
Mhm.
few. I
Yeah.
try to limit that.
But definitely, yeah, some exceptions, but 95% of the
Yeah.
time.
And then your other clients, so you're open to every state? Do you guys
Mhm.
shut off some states? Okay. So I've started doing that where if they, in the type form,
Mm.
Ohio, I'm not touching Ohio anymore. I'm not touching Pennsylvania
Got
anymore.
those
I've started
local
kicking
returns
people
as
out.
well.
Yeah, if I wasn't in Ohio, I wouldn't wanna do
Yeah.
Ohio either.
They can
Yeah.
sneak up on you.
Yeah. It's like I've done Ohio. It's the fact that there's like 3 or 4 different systems that they can get filed through and I don't know which one is the right one and I've looked them up before and it's like I think I can use
It's a nightmare.
whichever one I want for some of them. I don't know. And then the Pennsylvania
Mhm.
one was paper only. So it's like I'm printing it, signing it, mailing it to the client. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this isn't worth the 4 clients I have in Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
So yeah, so you guys are still open to all states. And all right, so did you meet that 100 client goal the first year? And
We did.
about how many
Mhm.
clients do you serve now?
First year, 100 clients. Second year was 300
300.
clients. And then this year, our goal is 400, at which point we'll shut off our intake.
Okay. Yeah, so 400, you've decided that's the cap that you're going to handle.
Yep.
For
Mhm.
this year. Yeah.
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 We accept signatures in advance of tax season. So we try to get as many engagement letter signatures as we can before January 1st to try to transition some of that additional
Mm.
admin work into pre-tax season area.
Yep.
And we have about 60% of that 400 have currently signed on.
Signed, paid the $100 deposit. Last year, we turned our intake off in mid-February.
Yeah.
And I guarantee we'll turn it off before then now. And I think that the fact that some financial advisors sent us clients in March and then their clients went through this and they're like, wait, no, they're sending us to a wait list. Like they're not even talking to us. And we like stood firm. I think it's definitely helped advisors know this year, okay, yeah, they're not messing around. Like
Yeah.
you sign up, they're not gonna be stressed out because you're late.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I think I went from like 115 to like 250 to 330 and then was like, all right, I can't take any
Mhm.
more unless I do something different, right?
Yeah.
And so is it your team? Is it just the two of you? Anyone else? Any outsourced work? Any admin work?
We hire contract workers during tax season to help
Okay.
with that season of work. This
Yeah.
last year we had 2 contract workers, and this upcoming season we hope to have maybe up to 5 contract workers. And really what we're doing is training them on basic input. So they will
Yeah.
take W-2 numbers and basic input.
Okay.
And then we'll do kind of pick the ball up from there
Yeah.
and finish the return.
Yeah. So those contract workers, the two of you are the only full time in the firm as
Mhm.
owners. What's your revenue, if you're willing to share it?
When we meet our 400 client goal, which we are very confident we will, for the full 2026 year, we're projecting about 230.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. And I would guess too, because again, I have majority compliance clients, right? I do offer tiered services. And that was something I was going to mention earlier too, like looking for that outside of tax season, right? For a little bit of bump, a little bit of getting your average fee up, but the work is outside of tax season. I don't call them planning meetings. I call them forecasting. So in like the upper tier, I do forecasting, and I only have about 30 people that signed up for that this year, which the first year, I think I was calling it planning and I wasn't charging enough for it. And way too many people signed up for it who didn't need it because it was cheap enough. And so I've slowly increased the price to where I think I've got the right people in it now. And it's really just the variable income people who want to sit down and talk through stuff. Like, yeah, we'll talk about strategy, but it's not kind of what you see with the multi-year strategizing and stuff like that. It's the people who just want to avoid surprises and get their estimates right and talk about a couple of things that they can do in their business or something, right? And so it's usually those. And yeah, I mean, I just it's a relatively easy appointment for, people who are well versed in taxes to be able to help them out with that. So that one's huge, I think, and I've enjoyed doing that. So that's definitely something that I'm, like you said, you guys are looking into in terms of outside of tax season. But yeah, with the compliance side, I would guess, right, that okay, 230, 400 clients. Somebody might look at that and be like, like I want to be higher than that, but there's no way that's 40 hours a week, 48 weeks a year, right?
No.
No,
especially outside of tax season. Maybe there's a couple hours of client consulting work that we're doing, but really what we've been doing in the off season is like our processes, thinking about growth. Like we could stop doing all of that and just keep doing tax season and make that money in the 4 months.
In a third of the year, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, say, look, this isn't $230,000 for full-time year-round work. Right. This is a third of the year.
Yeah, I may be doing 10 hours a week in the summer and then going to the pool with my girls or having extra time to
just not work.
Yeah.
All the other things. That's what I always loved so much about taxes was you can do a ton of the work up front. And honestly, this year I kept my tax season hours below 45 on average. And it was only March that went above that. And it was around like 50, right? Like not 60, not 70, not 80. It was 50 for 1 month out of the year. And every other month it's below 40. And it's like, why wouldn't anyone want that? Like it's a good rhythm. I got used to it because it was the first thing I did out of college. So I kind of got used to that rhythm. And I tried, I went into nonprofit for a while and I did a normal rhythm. And I never got used to it, honestly, because I really like the downtime outside of tax season. So,
and now being a business owner, yes, you have the downtime, but you also just have the flexibility to, maybe I want to work 12 hours today and maybe I don't want to work tomorrow. And it's like, I don't have to explain it to anyone. Like Claire and I both trust each other, know what's going on. It's, if we want to take a day off, just do it.
Yeah. And as the owner, right, you can always find something to spend your time on working.
Oh, yeah.
So you got to set those boundaries for sure. Yeah. So what's your tech stack? What are you guys using in terms of prep? And you already mentioned kind of your survey piece. What's that look like?
Sweet spot.
I love talking about tech.
Yeah.
We use TaxDome for our client portal and our workflow manager. We use
our signatures
and payment. Well, payments through Stripe. That flows through TaxDome.
But it's connected to TaxDome, yeah.
It is. We use TaxSlayer for our tax software. It's very cheap. Not the most wonderful solution in the world, but
if we were doing,
but you're also doing.
If we were doing K1s,
returns, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I really want TaxSlayer, but works for ours.
I'm very big into no-code tools. And so we actually use Airtable more for client tracking, as well as maybe tracking of wealth advisors, and through there using automations to send out, whether it's newsletters or a notification at the beginning of tax season saying, hey, advisor, you have these 5 clients with us. Here's your link for uploading any information regarding those clients. So we try to automate as much as we possibly can in ways that help to better not only the client experience, but also our partner, the wealth advisor's experience. What else?
Notion, does that count as tech
Notion
stack?
for kind of like internal information
okay.
sharing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's pretty
And keep
limited.
going.
I was going to say that's other than employees, that's my second largest expense is the tech.
Yes.
But there's
Mhm.
always, I kind of try stuff and then I ditch it. And then I try something and then I ditch it. So, I limit how many things I can try in a year so that I don't spend all my money on tech. But yeah, I mean, TaxDome's the biggest one that I mean, there's other ones like it, right? But that's the one I knew someone on it. So I didn't even look at other stuff. I just went with it because it's like, if I already know someone on it, that's the person I'm going to ask questions of. Right. And so I went with that, and it replaced the portal that I had, DocuSign, which I was paying like $50 a month for DocuSign, and they hit me on like March 20th and was like, hey, you're not allowed to be on this plan because you're sending out too much stuff. And I was like, what are you talking about? And then I had to sign a contract for $1,800 for DocuSign. And then I had to eat $1,800. I signed a 3-year contract just to get the cheaper price. And then I had to eat $1,800 2 years in a row because I switched to TaxDome. But it was worth it. And so now, everything's in that one spot, and it's great. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of benefit to it all being in one spot, and it actually saved, people complain about the TaxDome price. It saved me money. I spend less on it than I did the other 4 things that I had doing what it does.
Mm-hmm.
Do you spend much time in the TaxDome community?
I don't. I've complained about a couple of things in there recently, but I don't spend much time in there. They changed the scrolling of the pipeline, and I didn't like the way they did that. And then there was something else I saw the other day, and then what they said, I was like, okay, I mean, that actually makes sense. But that's the thing that scares me the most about the tech is I find something I like, and I'm afraid that they're going to improve it so much that I don't like it anymore. And I'm like, it's good. Stop messing with it. Like, I mean, I know they're going to always keep updating it, and there's stuff that they need to update, but I always get nervous that they're going to change something that makes it like a no-go for me, right? Like it was my favorite thing, and now I can't use it anymore. And
or they
that always
sell
makes me
it.
nervous. Well, sell out, right? To, Thompson Orders, and it goes and dies. So what's the process look like for the client? What does it look like for them? They have the survey, and then what's it look like until they sign the return?
Mm-hmm. So really our client experience starts when they are introduced to us. They come to our website, they click get started in the upper right-hand corner. From there, like I mentioned before, they go through a video intake. So they meet Logan and I, literally talking heads, walking them through our intake and client screening process. From there, they will open up their TaxDome portal and complete a welcome questionnaire within TaxDome, which gives us all the information. It helps us immediately get consent to speak to their wealth advisor if they have one.
If they have a spouse, what's their information? What's their email?
Yeah. From there, once we send them an acceptance, they'll receive our engagement letter to sign, especially even now for upcoming tax season.
They do have to send us on that intake organizer, just like the immediate questionnaire, they have to upload a prior year tax return. And we just found having that before we even schedule like a complimentary intro saves us a lot of back and forth.
Cough. You can
So it's just a lot more of, our first year intro. Yeah, you want to meet us, and we're spending too much time just eventually finding out you have a rental property. You just never know. So they fill out the intake, upload a prior year return. At that point, we say, okay, do you want to schedule a 15-minute intro meeting, or you can just, here's your engagement letter, deposit. And if they've been referred from, usually a trusted source, they're like, I don't need to meet you.
Right.
Sign it, done. And then messages through TaxDome are automated of, okay, you sign your engagement letter, hang tight until January, and we'll send you an organizer at that point.
You're still on our intake?
Sorry. My experience. I'm not in charge of our process.
Yeah.
But then what? So then they get their organizer in January. Mm-hmm. They complete it.
Yeah.
Gets an RQ. We have contract worker do the basic input. We'll do one level of review and completion, and then the second level of review. We'll then film a Loom video walking through the return and pointing out the 3 maybe most important things that impacted their return this year. So They did backdoor IRA contribution. They did a QCD. Here's how you see it on the return, which form is running through the return.
Yeah.
And then from there, they'll be able to review the video, sign the return, and then we'll file.
And they have to pay us before we'll e-file it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty similar to our process too. I do get payment up front though. So January is a really good month for me.
All of it?
Yeah. All of it. 100%. Send the invoices, pretty much all of them in January. And then the rest of the year, doesn't look so good, but January looks fine.
Have you always done it that way, or did you?
I started out 50-50, and then it was just me for the first 2 years. And so in the second year, I was like, okay, I don't want to spend double the amount of time sending invoices. So I moved to 100% up front. Nobody said anything. So I stuck with it. I think maybe like 2 out of 200 said, oh, last year it was this. And I was like, yeah, I switched it. And I just told them, I was like, I switched it to cut my admin time in half. And they're like, oh, okay, no problem. And nobody cared. I think what you treat as normal, they believe is normal, right? So, but yeah, I mean, that's a pretty similar process. I did start doing Loom videos this year too, and clients really like those. I offer a review appointment. So I always send a link saying, if you want to go through it together. So many people don't schedule that appointment. They don't care. They just sign it. They look it over. They watch, if they had a Loom video, it's not everyone that gets that. It's different levels of service. But I have a hard stop at 1:45. So I have 1 minute, but in 1 minute, tell
Brad,
me
can we talk about one thing?
I wanted you to tell me how you price your services, how you figure out what the price is, but then what's the one you want to say?
The one we wanted to talk about more, and we touched on it before, but the Find the Right Accountant directory that we recently built. We wanted to do a call out for it, especially if other accountants are listening and would like to join the directory. The idea is that accountants would be able to share their specific niche. So whether they love small side gigs or K1s or trust returns, that any clients or wealth advisors would be able to go into this directory, filter by the type of accountant that they want to be connected with, and then directly be able to work with that accountant. And I believe that at least in the accounting world, the more that we niche out, the better for our own sanities, but also for the industry and for better client service.
No, that's awesome. I'll link your LinkedIn profiles and then send me the link to like where they can contact you for that. I'll put that in there too. And in the Vivify website too.
Awesome.
Love it.
So do you guys price based on forms or time or hybrid?
I would say hybrid. Our introductory price is $400, and that is really what we strive for. We want clients in that range. Once they start maybe having, no matter what, we're no K1s, no rental, no. But if people start having, multiple investment accounts or equity compensation, then we will increase it.
And do you give them that up front? Do they know that up front?
Yeah.
Like they know the actual price?
Give them right up front.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing. I mean, if you're already doing that, you could definitely move to 100% or 50-50, billing, because the hardest part is I set the prices and I don't change them. But I have found that I'm rarely surprised by something. People will tell you what they have if you ask the right questions, and they won't lie to you. And they'll be pretty accurate. Like I've rarely got burned by pricing up front.
Hey, Brad, thank you so much for having us on earlier. It was so much fun to chat with you. And we were cut off a bit when we were talking about how we price our engagements. And I think we gave a pretty run-of-the-mill answer, but the actual answer is a lot more in-depth, as you can imagine. So in our second tax year, we spent a lot of time recording data behind what drove the amount of time it took for us to serve each individual client. We came up with several theories. Maybe it was age-based. Maybe it was based on the number of tax forms or the number of financial planning strategies that they implemented. Like, did they have equity compensation and backdoor IRA conversions and HSA? They're using their HSA, that sort of thing. Or is it all driven by financial accounts? Or is it driven by something else if they're married filing separately? if we have to look into any complexities around that, or state-based, for instance. So we collected all of the data for all of our clients and then rated our clients on a scale of 1 to 3, 1 being the lowest complexity, 3 being the highest complexity. We would also have tags for if this client was a pain in the, we would tag them that way too. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but we did. Of course, everyone has that type of client. And then during the summer following the tax season, I went through and I did a quick scan to say, okay, is there something that I can visually see that's driving the higher complexity, thus the higher amount of time that we're spending per client? I also fed the information. Of course, I took out all client data, but I fed the information generally through ChatGPT, and I said, hey, analyze this data. What trends are you seeing? And then I created this complexity classifier that said, hey, looking at these 8 different variables that could drive, every time that they score 1 on one of these variables, add up the number of their score, and then give us a tiering price. So our lowest tier is the $400 price. The middle tier is about $650 price, and the highest tier, it could be above $1,000 or above. And anything beyond that, we would not accept as a client. So that is helpful. I have ChatGPT pulled up where I trained essentially Vivify complexity classifier. I trained the model to say, okay, I'm going to type out, I'm going to say, this person is married, filing jointly. They live in Ohio with a local return. They receive 4 W-2s. They receive 3 1099 consolidateds. They also receive 4 1099 interest on the side, 2 backdoor IRA conversions, etc. I'll type it in here, and then the complexity classifier will analyze. Think a little bit. Usually it's faster than this. And so it'll come up with a pricing recommendation based upon how I trained this ChatGPT to classify all of this information. Okay, so yes, I hope this is helpful. Like I said, the way that we price clients is a lot more complex than how we responded to that question within our conversation. But hopefully this is helpful, and I would love to chat more about this anytime. Thank you, Brad.
Well, this is great. Awesome. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys hopping on. And I love the fact, because again, like I said, I'm pretty far into that camp too, where people are like, you can't make money at this anymore. It's horrible work. You're going to be working for 1,000 clients and you can't make any money at it. And it's like, it's really satisfying. The clients are great. It's hard to not say like to the client, like, oh, it's a pretty straightforward return. Because to us it is, right? But to them it's not. And so I think that's a common thing. When you're really good at something, you don't understand how much it stresses other people out. And so, I love what Vivify is doing. I mean, I love that you guys are in that space. And so look forward to hearing that you hit the 400 clients, and really appreciate you guys sharing with other people kind of what you're doing.
Yeah. Thank you for the invite. It's good to see you in person.
All right. Yeah. Thanks.